One fight that's been quite forgotten about within the welterweight picture is a fight between Gilbert Burns and Stephen Thompson, and now obviously it's on the undercard of the Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor fight, which is getting a lot more attention. But I still think the Gilbert Burns versus Stephen Thompson fight is a very interesting fight, and it's a fight that's definitely worth watching in terms of seeing what would happen next. Now, in Gilbert Burns, you do have a fighter that can strike, but his main bread and butter is wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Obviously, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion. In his amateur days, he got quite a few credentials in terms of that. And then you got Stephen Thompson, who's a pure point fighter. He's a dude that's known for his takedown defense, his striking ability, his ability to actually just outstrike. In my opinion, I think Gilbert Burns has shown vulnerabilities when it comes to striking, in terms of his actual game. In terms of when he fought Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman, his striking has definitely improved, but Kamaru Usman's main game is not striking. His main game is actually being a wrestler, a little bit similar to Gilbert Burns, but he actually showed the vulnerability that Gilbert Burns had on the striking front. Now, in terms of who I think would win this particular fight, is a very good fight, and I think is rightly the title contention for finding out who's the best fighter, who should challenge for the title next. Obviously, Colby Covington's going to come next. I think Colby Covington getting a shot at the title is a little bit undeserved in a sense, because since he lost to Usman, who has he actually fought? Who has he actually fought and beaten? Obviously, I think he beat Tyron Woodley, but Tyron Woodley just seems so past it at the moment. So him getting a title shot has got more to do with the fact that the first fight was so good, and also the build up to that fight would be quite entertaining, because Colby likes to talk a lot of stuff in it. So in my opinion, who I think wins the fight between Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Gilbert Burns is obviously I think Stephen Wonderboy Thompson just outpoints him. I think his striking is just a lot more sophisticated than Gilbert Burns is. Gilbert Burns' striking isn't bad, but that's not his main bread and butter. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, I think, is a fighter whose striking is I think is good enough to be on the same level. He's not on the same level as Adesanya, but if he was to do striking with Adesanya, I feel like he would give him a decent go of it. He would give him a decent fight. So yeah, that's my opinion. I think Stephen Wonderboy Thompson just outpoints him on the feet, and I think Gilbert Burns is going to look a bit clunky in there. Like, Gilbert Burns has got a thick, he's got the body of a wrestler. You can tell he's like a thick set dude that likes to wrestle. Just by looking at him, you can tell the way he looks, the way he carries himself, his presence, the way he walks and talks. You can tell he's got the physique of a wrestler. But if you look at Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, you can tell he's got the physique of a rangy point fighter. You can tell he's more of a striker than he is a wrestler or anything else. But I just think at this point in time, I think Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is just a bit too slick for Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns showed his defensive frailty when he fought Kamaru Usman, and Kamaru Usman stopped him, obviously beat him, and on top of that, he just outstruck him. And I don't think Kamaru Usman, even though his striking is decent, I don't think he's on the level of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. So I think because of them reasons, I think Stephen Wonderboy Thompson actually beats the brakes off of Gilbert Burns. It will be a competitive fight, and it'll be interesting to see if Gilbert Burns can actually outpoint him or do anything on the feet that can actually give him problems. But I think in terms of the style dynamic, I just think Gilbert Burns is he's just not sophisticated enough to hang in there with Wonderboy Thompson. Now, who I think actually wins the obviously I believe Stephen Wonderboy Thompson wins the fight. The only way Gilbert Burns wins this particular fight is if Stephen Wonderboy Thompson just grows old overnight, and it could happen. The dude's like 38, and he's got a style that does depend on reflexes, so he could easily grow old overnight. But Stephen Wonderboy Thompson's not really taken that much damage in the octagon. He has had a couple of hard fights, but I don't think he's as damaged and shot born as other fighters are. Obviously he took that loss against Pettis when he got knocked out, but he's not really been through that much, I don't think. Even though he's 38, he's a young 38, so I still think he's got enough in the gas tank to beat Gilbert Burns. But this is definitely a compelling fight. You got two fighters with completely different styles going up against each other, so it should be interesting to see what happens next. You tell me what you think below. Obviously, like and subscribe. I've got a lot more content coming your way. Peace out.